Have you ever collected customer feedback from multiple sources, say surveys, support tickets, reviews, chats, and then just stared at it, scrolled through responses, read a few comments, exported a report, and still thought, okay, what's actually going on here? Because collecting feedback isn't the problem anymore. Every team does that. The real challenge is, can you understand feedback at scale? Can you spot patterns early before churn or complaints spike? And once insights start coming in, do they actually drive decision? Because if your feedback lives in dashboards or is spread across 5 different tools, or needs hours of manual tagging, then it's not helping your business move forward. Hi, I'm Kanika from Zonka Feedback, your go-to platform for surveys, customer experience management, and AI feedback intelligence. And in today's video, we are diving into something every team wants or should have right now. The best AI customer feedback analytics tools. Not just tools that collect feedback, but platforms that help you analyze open text responses, detect themes, measure sentiment, and turn customer feedback into clear priorities. What AI customer feedback analytics really means today, why it matters more than ever, my top AI customer feedback analytics tool recommendations, how to pick the right one for your business, and a few practical tips to implement AI feedback analytics. So let's get started. What are AI customer feedback analytics tools? When people hear AI customer feedback analytics, it can sound complicated. But the idea itself is actually pretty simple. Think about how feedback works today. You collect responses from surveys, you have support tickets coming in, you get app reviews, emails, chat messages. Now imagine trying to understand that manually. You read a few comments, you skim some tickets. You maybe tag things like pricing, performance, support. That works until the volume grows. At some point, you are no longer understanding feedback. You are trying to keep up with it. This is where AI customer feedback analytics tools come in. These tools are built to do the first layer of thinking for you. They read through large volumes of open text feedback and automatically figure out what people are talking about, which topics keep repeating, whether the sentiment is positive, negative, or neutral, and what's starting the change over time. So instead of opening a spreadsheet and scrolling through hundreds of comments, you open a dashboard and see things like these are the top themes this month. This issue is driving the most negative sentiment. Complaints about onboarding spiked last week. That's the real value. It's not about replacing human judgment, it's about saving humans from doing slow, repetitive work that machines are much better at. Another important thing to understand is this. AI feedback analytics isn't just a one time analysis, it's continuous. Every new survey response, every new ticket, every new review gets analyzed automatically, which means you're not waiting for a monthly report to realize something's wrong. You can see patterns while they are forming, and the best tools don't stop at insight. They help you act. So, when feedback crosses a certain threshold, like repeated complaints about the same issue, it can be flagged, routed, or prioritized automatically. That's why in 2026, AI customer feedback analytics tools are less about reporting and more about helping teams stay ahead of customer problems instead of reacting after damage is done. Now that you know what these tools really do, the next question is obvious. Why have they become so important now? And why are traditional feedback analysis methods starting to fall? Let's get into that. Why AI customer feedback analytics matter. Here's the thing, customer feedback has always existed, but the way businesses deal with feedback has completely changed. In 2026, feedback isn't something you review once a month or summarize in a slide deck. And that's exactly why traditional feedback analysis starts to fall apart. Think about it. Today, feedback shows up everywhere. A customer leaves a comment after a purchase, a user reports an issue through support, someone drops a review on the App Store, a customer replies to an NPS survey, a conversation happens in chat or WhatsApp. All of these are feedback moments, and all of them are time sensitive. If a feedback analysis process is just reading responses manually or tagging things in spreadsheets, you're already too late. Because in 2026, speed, context, and prioritization matter just as much as collection. So, first, volume has outgrown manual analysis. Teams aren't dealing with dozens of responses anymore. They are dealing with hundreds or thousands of open text comments every month. Manually reading and tagging feedback doesn't scale and never really did. AI feedback analytics tool handle this volume automatically without burning out your team. Second, unstructured feedback is where the real insight lives. Scores and ratings are useful, but the real why lives in open ended responses. And unstructured text is exactly what traditional reporting struggles with. AI helps turn messy text into clear themes, sentiment, and trends that teams can actually use. Third, feedback needs to lead to faster decision. A product issue shouldn't wait for a quarterly review. A CX problem shouldn't sit in a dashboard. If feedback doesn't help teams decide what to fix, improve, or prioritize next, it's just noise. AI customer feedback analytics help surface what matters most early. Fourth, feedback today is cross functional. Feedback doesn't belong to one team anymore. Product needs it, CX needs it, support needs it, leadership needs it, which means insights need to be shared, understood, and acted on across teams. AI analytics helps create a single shared view instead of isolated reports. And finally, ignoring feedback is risky. Repeated complaints turn into churn, small issues turn into public reviews, and missed signals turn into lost customers. AI customer feedback analytics helps teams spot these patterns early before they escalate. This is why AI customer feedback analytics matters so much in the current times. Not because feedback is new, but because the cost of misunderstanding has never been higher. And once you understand this, the next obvious question is which tools actually do this well today, and how do you choose the right one for your business? Let's get into that next. Top AI customer feedback analytics tool. Alright, now let's talk about the tools because here's the reality. There is no single best AI customer feedback analytics software for everyone. Different teams use feedback for different reasons. Some teams want deep VOC intelligence, some want product prioritization, some need enterprise scale governance and reporting. So instead of ranking these tools blindly, I'm going to explain what each one is actually best at so you may match the tool to your use case. Let's start with the first one, Zonka Feedback. When teams look for AI customer feedback analytics tools, what they usually want isn't just analysis. They want a system that can capture feedback at the right moments, make sense of it automatically, and help teams respond and improve without handoffs or silos. That's where Zonka Feedback stands out as one of the most comprehensive platforms in this space. Zonka Feedback is built as a unified customer feedback system, one where feedback doesn't move between disconnected tools. From the moment feedback is collected across customer touchpoints, it flows into a single environment where it can be analyzed, managed, and acted on using AI. At the core of the system is AI feedback intelligence, Zonka's analytics layer designed to continuously integrate customer feedback and surface what matters most. As feedback comes in, Zonka's AI automatically performs thematic analysis, clustering open text responses into meaningful themes and sub-themes. These themes reflect real experience drivers, things like onboarding friction, product usability issues, service delays, pricing concern, or frontline interactions. On top of themes, Zonka applies sentiment and emotion analysis, helping teams understand the intensity behind feedback, not just frequency. This makes it easier to identify dissatisfaction, urgency, or risk early and separate low impact noise from signals that require attention. This AI customer feedback analytics platform also supports entity level analysis, breaking feedback down by products, features, locations, or agents. This is especially important for organizations operating across teams, regions, or channels, where understanding where issues originate is just as important as understanding what they are. One of Zonka's strongest differentiators as an AI customer feedback analytics tool is impact analysis. Instead of treating everything equally, Zonka connects feedback insights directly to experience metrics like NPS, CSAT, CES, and custom KPIs. This shows teams which issues are actually influencing customer outcomes, allowing prioritization based on impact, not assumptions. Insights update continuously, so teams can track emerging issues and sentiment shifts as they happen without waiting for static reports. Then comes the execution layer. Zonka feedback includes a built-in response inbox and workflow system where feedback can be reviewed, assigned, followed up on, and closed. This ensures insights don't stop at understanding, they translate into accountability and action. Different teams see what's relevant to them, while leadership gets a clear view of progress and outcomes. Add multilingual analysis and AI translation, and the system scales cleanly across regions and teams. So when you look at Zonka Feedback as an AI customer feedback analytics tool, it's not just analyzing feedback in isolation, it's providing a connected system from listening to intelligence to action to closure. And that's what makes it one of the best, one of the strongest end-to-end AI customer feedback analytics solution in 2026. Chattermill. If Zonka Feedback represents an end-to-end system that connects feedback to action, Chattermill sits firmly on the AI voice of customer intelligence side of the spectrum. Chattermill is built for teams that want to understand customer feedback at scale, especially across multiple channels and large data sets. Its core strength lies in AI-driven insight discovery. Chattermill ingests customer feedback from a wide range of sources, including surveys, support systems, reviews, and conversation, and uses AI to analyze open text feedback for themes and sentiment. Once data is ingested, Chattermill's AI automatically groups feedback into topics and themes, helping teams understand what customers are talking about most and how those topics trend over time. This makes it particularly useful for sales leaders running mature VOC programs, teams reporting on experience trends at an organizational level, organizations that want a centralized view of customer sentiment. Chattermill places a strong emphasis on structured insight reporting. Dashboards are designed to help teams explore trends, compare time periods, and understand how different themes evolve. This makes it easier to communicate insights upwards, especially to leadership and stakeholders who want clarity without digging into raw data. Sentiment analysis is tightly integrated into these themes, allowing teams to track how customer emotions shift across topics over time. This is especially valuable when you are monitoring experience improvements or declines at a macro level. Where Chattermill is particularly strong is insight visibility and storytelling. It helps teams answer questions like, what are the biggest experience drivers this quarter? How has sentiment changed after a major release or policy change? Which themes are consistently showing up across channels? That said, Chattermill is primarily an insights and intelligence platform. It focuses on helping teams understand feedback deeply rather than managing execution workflows. Actions, follow ups, and resolution typically happen outside of the platform in product, CX, or support systems. So, if your primary need is AI powered VOC analysis and insight discovery at scale, Chattermill is a strong choice. But if you're looking for a system that also manages feedback response, ownership, and closure directly within the same platform, you'll want to pair it with or consider a more end to end solution. SentiSum. If you're looking for a much focused tool which is built specifically for analyzing support conversations and tickets at scale, SentiSum could be a great choice. SentiSum's strength lies in understanding why customers are contacting support. It's designed for teams dealing with high volumes of tickets, chats, and help desk data where manually reading conversations is unrealistic and traditional reporting doesn't surface real drivers. SentiSum uses AI and NLP to automatically analyze support tickets and conversations, grouping them into clear issue categories. Things like login problems, billing issues, feature confusion, bugs, or workflow blockers. Instead of relying on inconsistent manual tags from agents, SentiSum creates a consistent AI driven layer of classification that shows teams what's actually driving support volume. This makes it especially valuable for support and CX teams, product teams working closely with support data, organizations trying to reduce ticket volume and repeat issue. One of SentiSum's biggest advantage is precision because it's trained heavily on support language and ticket data. It's very good at detecting root causes, not just surface sentiment. Teams can see which issues are increasing, which ones consume the most effort, and which problems should be fixed upstream to prevent future tickets. SentiSum also connects feedback analysis to operational impact. By tying issues to ticket volume, resolution time, or cost, teams can quantify which problems are most expensive to the business, helping product and operation teams prioritize fixes with clearer ROI. Where SentiSum is more limited is breadth. It's not designed to be a full VOC or feedback management platform. It doesn't aim to cover every feedback touchpoint or manage closed loop workflows end to end. Instead, it excels when used as a deep analytics layer on top of support data, often alongside other CX or feedback tools. So, if your biggest challenge is understanding what's happening inside thousands of support tickets and using that insight to reduce friction and workload, SentiSum is one of the strongest AI customer feedback analytics tools in that niche. Qualtrics. When it comes to large enterprise grade customer feedback analytics, Qualtrics is one of the most established names in the market. Qualtrics is built for organizations that need to analyze customer feedback at significant scale across multiple business units, regions, and touchpoints while maintaining strong governance, security, and consistency. Its AI-powered capabilities live primarily within TextIQ and XM Discover, where open text feedback is analyzed for themes, sentiment, and patterns. Qualtrics uses machine learning to classify feedback, detect sentiment, and surface key topics across large datasets. This allows enterprise teams to understand what customers are saying across surveys, experience programs, and structured VOC initiatives. One of Qualtrics' biggest strength is structure and control. It's particularly well suited for organizations that require standardized experience measurement, strong role based access and permissions, compliance, security, and auditability, formal reporting across departments and regions. For global enterprises running mature CX programs, this level of control is critical. Qualtrics also offers AI assisted features to help teams generate topic hierarchies, summarize feedback, and explore trends, making it easier to navigate large volumes of data without starting from scratch. Where Qualtrics really excels is executive level reporting and alignment. Dashboards are designed to roll insights up across teams and location, helping leadership track experience metrics, identify problems, and measure progress over time. That said, Qualtrics is best understood as a powerful analytics and measurement platform rather than a lightweight or fast moving system. Implementation, customization, and ongoing management often require dedicated ownership and actions or follow ups, typically integrate with external systems rather than living entirely within one workflow. That needs robust AI feedback analytics, governance, and reporting at scale, Qualtrics is a strong and proven option. But if your priority is speed, flexibility, or tightly integrated closed loop execution within the same platform, you may want to compare it with more agile, action oriented solutions. Enterpret. Enterpret represents a newer, modern approach to AI customer feedback analytics, one that's designed for teams moving fast and dealing with feedback spread across many tools. Enterpret is built around the idea of unifying scattered customer feedback signals and helping teams turn them into structured, usable insights without heavy setup or manual work. It pulls in feedback from surveys, support systems, product tools, reviews, and other sources and applies AI to analyze open text data for themes, sentiments, and trends. Where Interpret stands out is speed and flexibility. The platform is designed to help teams quickly explore feedback, slice it by segment, channel, or time frame, and understand what customers are reacting to without needing rigid taxonomy upfront. This makes Enterprise particularly appealing for product led teams, fast growing SaaS companies, and teams experimenting with feedback driven decision making. Interpret's AI automatically identifies themes and clusters feedback while also allowing teams to iterate on those themes as new patterns emerge. This is useful when feedback evolves quickly. For example, after feature launches, pricing changes, or onboarding updates. Another strength is how Interpret helps teams move from insights to discussion. Insights are presented in a way that supports collaboration, helping product, CX, and support team align around shared feedback signals instead of working from separate reports. That said, Interpret is primarily an analytics and intelligence layer. Focuses on helping teams understand feedback and identify patterns rather than managing the full life cycle of feedback responses, follow-ups, or resolution workflows. Actions often happen in downstream tools like product roadmaps, issue trackers, or CX system rather than directly inside Interpret. So, if you are looking for a modern AI first platform that helps product teams quickly make sense of customer feedback across tools and channels, Interpret is a strong option. But if your goal is to tightly connect feedback analysis with execution, ownership, and closed loop action within the same system, you'll want to evaluate how Interpret fits into your broader feedback stack. How to pick the right AI customer feedback analytics tool for your organization. Alright, now that you have seen the tools, here's the real question. How do you pick the right one for your business? Because most teams don't fail because they chose a bad tool, they fail because they chose a tool that's great for someone else's work. So, here's how I think about it. First, start with the feedback source that matters most to you. Before looking at features, ask yourself, where does the most important feedback come from right now? Is it support tickets, post interaction surveys, product feedback, reviews, or a mix of everything? Some tools are optimized for very specific feedback sources. Others are built to bring many sources together. If you pick a tool that's strong where your feedback is weakest, you'll struggle to get real value from it. So, start with the source you care most about today, not the one you might care about later. Second, decide whether you need insight alone or insight plus action. This is a big one. Some platforms focus mainly on analysis. They help you understand themes, sentiment, and trends. Other platforms go further and help teams assign feedback, follow up, and track whether issues were actually addressed. So ask yourself, do we mainly need better understanding or do we need a system that ensures action happens? If your team already has strong execution workflows, an insight focused tool may be enough. If follow through is a recurring problem, you'll want something that supports accountability. Third, pay close attention to how themes are created and managed. Themes are the backbone of feedback analytics. They shape how your team interprets customer voice. So, look for answers to questions like, can we customize themes to match our business language? Can themes evolve as our product or service change? Can we refine them without starting over? If themes are rigid or hard to manage, the tool will feel limiting very quickly. Fourth, make sure the tool supports the way you make decisions. Great dashboards are nice, but real value comes from being able to answer real questions. Questions like, what's driving negative feedback for a specific segment? What changed after a recent release? Which issues are increasing over time? So think about how you'll want to slice feedback, whether it is by segment or by channel, by product area, by location, or by time period. If the tool can't break insights down the way your teams think, it won't become part of everyday decision making. Fifth, check how insights move into your existing workflows. Insights lose value if they stay trapped in dashboard. So ask, can insights be shared easily with teams? Can they connect to tools your teams already use? Can the next step happen without manual copying? The smoother the handoff from insight to action, the more impact the tool will have. Practical tips to implement AI customer feedback analytics. Now let's talk about implementation. Not theory, not features, but what actually makes AI customer feedback analytics work in the real world. Because most teams don't fail at this because the AI is weak. They fail because the rollout isn't thought through. So, here's a few practical things I have seen matter a lot. First, make sure feedback enters the system with consistent structure. AI is very good at analyzing the text, but it still needs context to do it well. During implementation, pay attention to the metadata flowing in with feedback. Things like channel, product area, location, customer segment, or journey stage. For example, slow response means something very different in support chat versus onboarding. When feedback enters with clean, consistent context, AI analysis becomes far more accurate and useful. This is a setup step and it's worth getting right early. Second, let AI run continuously, not in batches. A common implementation mistake is treating AI analytics like a reporting feature. Teams upload feedback once a month, review it, and move on. The real value comes when AI runs continuously in the background, analyzing new feedback as it arrives. These are emerging issues are caught early, trends are spotted while they are forming, and teams move from reactive analysis to proactive insight. So during rollout, make sure the tool is configured to process feedback in near real time, not just on demand. Third, introduce a simple review habit right after rollout. AI insights won't magically drive action on their own. Once the tool is live, decide how insights will be reviewed. For instance, a weekly look at the top emerging themes, a quick check on rising negative sentiment, a monthly summary shared with leadership. This doesn't need to be heavy or formal, it just needs to be consistent. Implementation succeeds when AI insights become part of a routine, not an extra task. And finally, define ownership before the first insight appears. This part is critical. If AI surfaces an issue and no one knows who owns it, nothing happens and trust in the tool drops quickly. So during implementation, clarify who reviews the insights, who decides priority, and who follows up when something needs action. When ownership is clear, AI feedback analytics stops being interesting and starts being operational. If you implement AI customer feedback analytics this way with focus, structure, continuity, habit, and ownership, the tool doesn't feel complex. It feels like visibility. And that is exactly when teams start relying on it instead of questioning it. And that's a wrap. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it is this. AI customer feedback analytics isn't about replacing human judgment. It's about helping teams see patterns earlier, understand customers better, and make decisions with more confidence. The right AI customer feedback analytics software doesn't just analyze feedback, it helps you cut through the noise, prioritize what actually matters, and connect insights to action faster. Think about where your feedback comes from, what decisions you needed to support, and how insights should move through the team. Pick the tool that fits your workflow, not the one with the longest feature list. If this video helped, hit like, subscribe to our channel, and let me know in the comments how you are currently analyzing customer feedback and what you find most challenging about it. And if you're looking for a customer feedback analytics platform that brings together collection, AI driven analysis, and closed loop action in one system, you can check out Zonka Feedback using the link given in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.